Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing and welcome back to another day in the life of the sport that is failed PED tests. Yes. Who is it today, you might ask? It's none other than ladies' night. Alycia Baumgardner has failed one of her tests. I think there were three. This was prior to her fight with Christina Linadartou, the rematch, which she won unanimously. The fight took place on July the 15th, and apparently Matchroom. Let me read you Matchroom's statement, or a piece of it. Matchroom was informed of the result on August the 12th, which is almost a month after the test itself. The applicable regulatory authorities are also aware, and we defer to such bodies for further action and guidance as a full investigation is conducted. Matchroom is committed to promoting a clean and fair sport for all athletes and will assist Alycia and her team during this time, affording her the appropriate due process. So we're here again. This time it's the ladies, but I don't know. What can you say? I suppose on the one hand, at least people are getting caught. I first heard of this, by the way, because I've just come off G-Man's. We did a little, podcast thingy where we had a chat about what was supposed to be Dubois versus Usyk, and we covered that. But initially, backstage, G-Man said to me, "Have you heard about Baumgardner?" And I said, "Oh no, don't tell me she's failed a test." They didn't tell me until we'd gone live. And I was like, "Yep, I was right. It's a failed test." And I hadn't heard of this until G-Man mentioned it. But how many more people? I mean, what is going wrong out there? At least they're being caught, or some of them are being caught. I'm sure many of them aren't. But this is a sport we love, but it doesn't half infuriate us. And of course, Alicia's saying, she's saying, no, it can't possibly. I've never heard of these drugs. What are these drugs? I don't know what's going on. It's nothing to do with me. And Alycia, love, you've been nicked. You've been nicked, girl. And she described it, I think, on her Instagram. She said, I have no intention of sitting back in silence and letting this play out. Well, for the time being, you're going to have to, aren't you? And she said it was essentially impossible that I could be found, pissed hot. Well, no, it's not impossible. You have been, my dear. You have been. And okay, around and around we'll go now. Terrible business. I'll tell you someone who's probably having a field day with this is Michaela Mayer. She's probably loving it. She's probably got the old kazoo out, and there's balloons everywhere, silly string, and she's probably loving this because her and Baumgardner don't get on. What's going to happen with Baumgardner? Is she going to be stripped of her belts? She's an undisputed champ, of course. I don't know. It's a shame. Well, what are we going to do with this sport, eh? I mean, all this crap that infests it. But as I said, G-Man and I discussed this on his podcast, his live. Boxing is the black sheep of sports, and always has been, going way back to. I mean, he cited Jack Johnson and an opponent doing 30 days in prison for simply having a fight. And then, of course, Johnson went to prison because of the Mann Act, and so. And then, of course, we had Blinky Palermo and the mob, the mafia, and Primo Carnera, the business with that. And boxing is absolutely littered historically with corruption and bribes and dives and God knows what else. And the current vogue thing is obviously PEDs, and so long as we keep catching them, I don't think we've lost the war. So, but as I said to G-Man, when we catch them, we've got to put the boot in. None of this, 6 month ban, backdated, and all that crap. That's not worth anything. You got to give them serious some years. I'm kind of someone who doesn't. You should take every case on its own merits, but I'm not someone who would immediately say, lifetime ban for a first offence. I'm not one of those people. But at the same time, someone like Jarrell Miller, yeah, kick him out of the sport for good. But there's got to be, 3 years, 5 years ban. I mean, it's got to carry some weight to the punishment. Otherwise, people are just going to carry on doing this. The two steroids that Baumgardner has apparently tested positive for are something called mesterolone and methenolone acetate metabolites. Yeah, and she says I've never heard of them or used them in any way. To be abundantly clear, I know I have and never would and never will take this or any other drug. Not only would doing so be unethical, but it would be completely contrary to how I've trained my entire career. Baumgardner said that her other two tests, including the later one provided on the 15th of July, were clean and negative. Okay, it'll all come out in the wash like it always does. So yeah, comments below if you've got any. We're here again. Oh, and by the way, we hit 2,000 subscribers. Thanks to G-Man. Big up, G-Man. Thank you so much, G-Man. And thank you if you subscribed. 2,000 subscribers. When I started this channel, which was in a couple of years, it'll be 2 years in October, I honest to God, I thought this would be, I might get 500 subscribers if I was lucky. And then I made 1,000, which was great. And then I made 1,500. Now we're on 2,000. It's your channel as much as mine, with no point in me doing the videos if you don't watch them. And I always, always, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It makes sense. And like the video as well. And leave your comments below, because I always enjoy reading them. Meanwhile, bye for now.